folk recall the changes in a small East Devon village. We should warn you that the language is as blunt and lively as you would expect to hear in any village pub. To the Dolphin Inn we go for Fireside Tales.
I remember our lectures, you know, 4 families almost filled up our lectures area. The Martins, the Westlates, the Millers, and that's probably the whole beer, the background of the beer is families. And of course now, you've got a social family families, haven't you?
Not on the beach now.
No, I mean, the boats aren't here, there's about 3 or 4 families.
We used to term them then as foreigners. If they come here, they was foreigners.
Yes.
I mean, that's...
Many boats are fishing completely.
And the main industry then was farming and fishing.
Yeah.
Well, there's nobody farms very much today. And the fishing, well, there's 2 or 3 of them goes out and always their pots and no Fred, their cooks or crabs and rivers.
Cooks the crabs.
Yeah, there you are. So, but the industry's died out. I mean, I still sell a nice little bit of cod. And there's another thing. When it was fine weather, when I was a boy, when it was fine weather, the fishermen couldn't go to sea. Now that may sound stupid, doesn't it? Because that was before the sailing days. No, that was before before the engines come in. They couldn't go to sea unless it was blowing a half a gale wind. Because the boats was 30 foot long, gut foot, and unless it was blowing out of the low wind, they couldn't move. You know when we used to set fire to the common? See, we used to set fire to the common every year for get some wood. And we used to bundle off the buzz when it burned off there. We used to bundle that up on the bundle and bring it home. Buzz.
That's good as gorse.
Gorse, Ernie.
To me, it's buzz. That's all I know.
Gorse.
Anyhow, we used to bundle off that we burned off, bring them home here, and we used to sell it to what we call the betterment class, like Mr. Good and all that.
Yeah.
About tuppence a bundle. Yeah, well, anyhow, but it tuppence a bundle for a damn good bundle of wood every Saturday when we didn't go to school. I tell you, they don't know poverty was ate out with poverty. Bloody poverty. Now then, the point is that when we were sharing our own ways, we were a happy family. Instead of chucking what was over in the dustbin like you do now, you'd find it on a plate outside your door. They wouldn't chuck nothing away because we was really poor in those days, really poor. And that's when we knew what friends is. But there ain't no friends today. All that they want today is LSD. It's in LSD now. It's whatever they call it.
Decimal coins.
Decimal coins.
Yeah.
Well, anyhow, thank God that I'm on the way out. So anyhow, I'll leave it at that.
Well, I'd like to tell you a story about out on the rocks. At one time, they used to call it, or now they call it deep sea fishing. But in them days, years ago, when I was a young boy, they used to call it out on the rocks. So a chap that run my father's boat then, the E55, Jack Wesley, was the skipper of the boat. And the gentleman in them days, he had quite a bit of money to hire the boat for the day, you see. And he came down and he wanted to go out on the rocks. So at any rate, Jack took him out on the rocks. He went out and anchored up. And he thought the fellow was a little bit queer, really, for about half an hour. He was looking around. He was looking all over the place and looking at Jack. And he said, "Do you think you know where you are, skipper?" Jack said, "Know where I am?" He said, "Of course I don't know anything else, really." He said, "Well," he said, "I thought I paid you to come out, take me out on the rocks." And of course, the old man was out there looking for the rocks. Of course, wasn't no rocks out there. The rocks were underneath, you see. So at any rate, and another thing, he said, "I've been fishing here for half an hour, and we better move," he said, "because there's no fish here at all," he said. "We haven't caught anything." So Jack said, "Well, sorry about that, sir." And then a minute or two afterwards, he said, "I got it," he said. "I got it," he said. "Got one," he said. "Got him." "Have you, sir?" "Yes." He started wind. So far up, fellow was popped out, got up so far down again. And took him about 20 minutes to get this fish. He said, this is a big fish. He said, I know I got a big fish.
Yeah.
All right. Poor old Jack said, well, sir, he said, don't you lose him. Don't lose him. Play him with him, he said. So the man was letting him go out back again. After 20 minutes or so, half an hour, he got his fish, and he knew it, the big one. He come up alongside, and what do you think it was? He'd have caught the galvanized anchor of the boat.
That's true,
That's a true story. His brother. Ern's brother was there, you see. Well, anyway, I think somebody else got the story now. I'll tell another one.
Well, I don't know what to say. The only thing I know is Ern used to think he was the best swimmer in beer one time. But he wasn't, you know. Because I swam across the Mediterranean once. You didn't know that, did you?
Oh, I can tell you another one in a minute.
That's true. I was out in a ship called the Arundora Star, and we was going into Alexandria that morning. And the bosun said to me, this was 5 or 6 miles out then, and he said, go up on the boat deck, Newton, and rig 3 or 4 stages ready for the crowd to paint the ship's side when we tie up on the starboard side. So I said, all right, boss. So I goes up on the boat deck, rigs out 2 or 3 stages, and one of them, that's 3 stages, is what people sits on and paints down the ship's side, see? So he's going to tie up port side too. One of these stages was canted in a bit, so I jumped down like a bloody fool and couldn't ride. And down I goes, down the ship's side, from the boat deck, that's a long way up on a liner. The way I goes, way down, when I come up again, the ship was gone on. True. So, anyway, I looked around, I seen me hat there floating, so I swimmed across and got me hat and put on. Then I swimmed ashore. And I reckon it took me about 2 hours to get into Alexandria. And nobody ever knew I was gone. True, this is, and true's I'm sitting here. And I happened to swim ashore, followed the ship's way out ashore, and it was lovely and calm and warm. It was in October, actually. So eventually I got ashore and walking up the quayside, and the crowd had their dinner, and the 2 bosun's mates was looking over the ship's rail like that when I come up to the quayside. And one was called Harry Brown, the other one was called Tabby Williams. So old Tabby Williams said, Harry Brown, one of your chaps, you're walking along the quayside, no? I hope he been. So anyway, I got aboard and had me dinner and changed. And I told the story. I said I rolled overboard. Nobody ever knew I was gone. So later in the afternoon, after I'd turned to and gone to work, and everybody forgot about it, the captain called me out in his cabin. And he said, I hear you've been ashore without leave. I said, yeah. I said, I had to swim ashore. So when I told him what was on, he was going to lug me for having leave without supervision. But anyway, told the story, all went well. And then after the voyage was over, in a couple months' time, I had a lovely letter from the superintendent of Marine, Captain Angus. And said that he was pleased to think that everything was all right. And if ever I wanted another job in their company, I would always write to him and I would get a job. There you are. And that's absolutely true.
I'll tell you a little short story about... I used to send out a lot of self-drive boats on the beach at one time. We used to run theatres and beach huts and everything. Well, everything, really. What there was, next year, everything, you know. Anyway, what there was, and then my wife and all that. And I had a gentleman come down with his wife one day. He said, I'm a naval commander, he said, and I would like to hire one of your boats. Yes, sir, that's all right. He has his wife there and Kitty. And he's rather posh in his way to me. I thought he was, you know, a bit... Yeah, a bit snooty. So anyway, he asked me umpteen questions about what to do, which way to go, and told him about the wind southwest. I said, go out around Beerhead, sir. Wind's easterly. Go up the bay. I said, and then you'll come back easy. Told him how to work the mackerel line. Run about half speed. Told him everything. Well, he said, I asked me what he got, and it was a very busy time because there used to be a 2-hour wait sometimes on a busy day. Wonder, Fred, you know that yourself. Oh, anyway, I thought myself, damn, this one like that. And he said to me, just like I'm going to say it, and he said to me, and what does the tide do here? He said. Well, I said to him, well, sir, I said, the tide comes in and goes out. I said, and he said to his wife, oh, come on, he said, come on. I lost his customer and I never seen him again. He just cleared out. What does the tide do? Yeah. So what would you say the tide done in
East and west.
Comes in and goes out?
Yeah.
East and west. The tide don't come in and out, it goes east and west.
I had a farmer come down one day.
Talking about the tide coming in and out.
Lovely Sunday, and the tides were strong, like they are in the full moon and new moon.
Here's a pinch, right?
So yeah, you can have a pinch.
Oh, I
These farmers said, these farmers said to me, where the hell's the say gone?
Yeah.
I said, what's mean the say? He said, the say, and the say. I said, what's mean? There's the say out there. He said, yes, but there's gone back more acres since I was your last year.
But I'll tell you a story about the fellow that used to come down to Snowdon and used to hire our boat. You know, the big chap, don't you? That Jack used to come down here, and he came down to live near Topsom. And he brought his wife up in June when we had that heat wave on. And it was the strongest tides of the year. You see, you get off the tide. And the tide was back. And at about 2, 3 o'clock in the day, he was coming across. He said, we're going across the T out and have some cream, scones and cream and all this and that. So at any rate, what happened to him? He said to me, whatever happened to the sea? He said. He'd only been here when about half tide and tide there, because all the rocks was uncovered and very strong and everything. I said, what's the matter with it? Damn old knows what's the matter with it, don't you? I said, this is a drought, isn't it? Drought everywhere, isn't there? Good God, what is it? Oh, when I go back behind my I'll tell him when I go to about the drought. He went over to my missus, he said, what a thing, the drought. What a thing, affecting everything, isn't it? So anyway, affecting the bloody sea and everything. And he come over and told him, he went back with it. We kicked off a bloody fine rain when he come back next time, mind. If he'd have come 9 o'clock in the night or 9:30, he'd have never seen the bloody sea so far in, not for calm. Because it's the strong tide, but it's all there.
Top of the tide.
I said to him,
Equinox.
He comes from Londoner, he was. London chap, but nice feller, but he wasn't so nice when he's eating me next time.
See, the tide follows the channel down through. See?
Man, you come with Snowdon?
East and west. Follows the channel, yeah.
I remember one Sunday, and the day was ever so rough, and we had a lot of people down there, and I was running the Grey Goose, taking trips out with Dougie Orley. And people was lined up to go out. We was cutting it short, about 3/4 of an hour. So, wasn't only 3 shillings each then, in they days. So I comes with a boat, and I thought I was going to fill up with people. Dougie put in a farmer and his wife and 3 of our kiddies, and he said, get on, private party, take them out, charge them 25 shillings, hour. So I wasn't very pleased about it, because I could have earned more if we'd taken a boatload of people in. Yeah. So I went out, and over under the King's Owl Rock, the sea comes in a bit steep, but out under the cliffs wasn't bad, see? So I thought, all out you. So away we goes. And this old farmer was down there, and I had to steer in the boat there, the old farmer. And when we got over around by the back of King's Owl Rock, the wave was a bit bigger there, see? And I done it on purpose. Going out the boat was going up and down, up and down. And these old farmers looked up at me. He said, pretty rough, isn't it? I said, yeah, pretty rough. So he says, next breath he said, ever been out for roughs this far? I said, no, not if ever I've been out to roughs. Take me back, he said. I said, I can't, I said. My boss won't like it. I said, I can't take it back unless I get some money. He says, I'll pay the money. So I took it back. Won't like how he said, what's come back so quick for? I said, I got the money. Fill the boat up again.
Very good Burroughs.
Yes, he said, Letty Gargoyles. Gargoyles, he said. I never seen such gargoyles.
I'll tell you a story. When I was a boy going to school, we had a young schoolmaster there, and I used to leave school on down at my brother's boat and go out what we call dabbing. Just about a mile off, used to row off and get anything for bait in the days of dabs, because the bay was full of dabs. Well, this schoolmaster wanted to come out. Well, I couldn't say no because he was my master.
Who was that in there?
I forget his name, Robbins or something.
Roland.
Anyhow. So he got out, anchored off, and there's nothing worse to make the upset your inside is when you anchored off and is calm. You, for some reason or other, it upsets people quicker than does when they're on the run. Yes. But anyhow, I looked back and I didn't turning white, and then I didn't turning green. And I thought to myself, good God, look out there. And he prayed. He said, oh, please. He said, take me in. I said, no. I said, I got to catch a basketball first before I go in. That's mother beyond me. But I never had a father, really. Anyhow, he died in the first war. Anyhow, that's neither here nor there. Anyhow, so he said, oh, I said, no, I got to catch him there. And anyhow, I got me back. We brought him ashore, had to row ashore went. And he got out and he laid there for about an hour. I thought he was going to die. But like they say, there's nothing worse than seasickness.
We'll tell you a story in a minute about Nicodemus.
What is
Ernie never heard about it.
You tell us about Nicodemus.
When the Coast Guard had to look out at the common.
In my father's day, when he was a young lad and young boy, they used to have on Beer Common, they used to have 30 or more donkeys. Nearly everybody had a donkey cart then, and donkeys. And evidently, one of the donkeys up there was called Nicodemus. And Nicodemus lived to a great age, evidently. And like the end of it, like everything and everybody, he died one day. So they tied out on the common, out by Shepherd's Nub. Well, that's at any rate, if you know where Shepherd's Nub is. I don't. Do you know where Shepherd's Nub is?
No.
You know, well, halfway out, three-quarters way out there is Shepherd's Nub. So he had to be buried. So he sent two men down to bury Nicodemus, bury the donkey, and they dig the big hole, big pit. Of course, he ought to went in sideways, really, but they rolled him in and the damn thing was so heavy, donkey pushing about, he went in on his back, his legs on there. So they didn't know what it is. This is true story, I wouldn't tell you how to tell. This is Nicodemus. So any rate, this donkey, well, any rate, they buried him up all right. They got him down somehow and kept him down somehow, and they buried up all right. And then, when the ground sunk, his legs were sticking out the ground. Nicodemus' legs. Well, at that time, they had out in the Coast Guard station, they had six Coast Guards used to come over from Axton Station. It was a regular station, you see. And they used to come in and have a drink in the Dolphin and down the Anchor. They used to come in and have a drink. And they used to have to go on about 10 o'clock. Well, a lot of up across the path, a lot of them used to trip over Nicodemus' legs. Whether they sewed the damn things off or what happened, I don't know. But and I often think to myself about Nicodemus. After all, he's gone down in history, isn't he? When you come and think about it. Well, he has.
That's right.
But I've heard my father and the old men talk about Nicodemus many, many times. But I think Fred got one to tell you about when I was over on the landing stage once with Fred.
Yeah, I let a boat out for a man and his wife. Come down from Birmingham. Wanted to go out, drove me mad to let him go out in my little crabbing boat. So the engine was a little diesel engine, and he was a bit ticklish. So I said to him, now, you leave the throttle like he is. I put a stick in so he wouldn't go forward or backwards, see? And he couldn't. He'd just take over, lovely. And I said, boy, all you got to do now is pull the big lever back for reverse,
in the middle for neutral and forward when you get far enough out to go away. Oh, lovely. He says, thanks, Fred, thanks. And his Mrs. Little girl was in the boat. So away he goes. He's gone an hour or more. Back he come, and the bloody boat was coming. I got to stand up. Come in near the bait. And old Dougie and I was down there in Rumour. And the boat was going round and round the bay like hell. You know, he'd have played around with a stick while he was out there, and he couldn't slow the engine back no more, because it was a very technical engine. Very technical engine, boys, and once you let him go fast, unless you know it, you couldn't slow it up, see? So, of course, if you come in on the beach, you'll automatically stop, no matter how fast you come in. So I was saying to him, come in. Where's the brake? Come in, he was shouting. Where's the brake? Said, bucket the brake. Come in. So away he's going round and round. I said, old Dougie, look, bloody silly bugger's never coming in. So anyway, eventually, we persuaded him to come in. And before that, I seen his little girl disappeared, and then his missus disappeared. And he was there, stuck up the back, all by himself. I said to Dougie, he must have drove him over. Anyway, when he comes round again 2 or 3 times, waving, and of course you had a job to tell from here out to sea. So eventually come in on the beach, right up across the beach, and the boat stopped. So anyway, out he gets, frightened to death he was, and he pulled his missus out under the seat, and the little girl, and he said to me afterwards, he said, Fred, I'll never do what I've been told not to do ever again. He said, I had visions of going right up into his cliff and killing my family.
He's only going right
funny.
over the beach.
Bloody truth, old Dougie was here to tell you the thing. Dougie don't tell no lies. Sure aren't.
Oh, I never knew you told that.
But that's absolutely true.
Anyway, I'll tell you a true story about sailing. And it happened to another school teacher. We were sailing down Sidmouth. I had to take him. We were sailing down Sidmouth, and there was hardly apple of wind, and if you know what that means, apple means to say there's hardly any wind at all. Well, anyhow, we was going out to the westward buoy, and then running up through to the eastward buoy. Well, as we was running up through, we always take up the centre kill in my days. Didn't pull them up like the dudes now with ropes. Always putting up and laying down in the bottom of the boat. But anyhow, when I was getting up to the eastward buoy, I said, it's time to shove him down. Well, he was a bloke bigger than me. I was nearly 18 stone in my days. And then he was about 17, rugby player. Well, anyhow, he got out of this here cut drop kill, iron. He was around about 3 parts hundredweight in weight, see, steel iron. And I was there shouting on, I'd have been ready for, I'd have been going to be up for the buoy before he shoved him down. Well, I goes forward and taking out of his hand, he comes over my side and we done what they call the worst thing any sailor can do, is what you call a back tip. Back against the wind. That fools does that, not... Anyhow, I had this thing in me hand, this drop kill as we called it. The boat went over, he went over the side, and I went over too. And I still had this thing in me hand like that. And down and down and down and down and down. I was like, Chris, it's getting dark. No, that's the gospel truth. And this bloke come up, he was swimming around, he couldn't see nothing of me at all. Anyhow.
What was you still hanging on?
I was still hanging on to this here kill. And he was taking me down, because there was a good lot of water down there outside me. But anyhow. But when there's another phrase. Good lot of water means to say it's deep.
Yeah.
You don't understand, I think. Anyhow, so when I realized that what I was doing, I let the kill go, and up I popped, and Nick Bloke was looking over, and he couldn't, and all of a sudden I popped up, and I was nearly out of breath, and old George Canning, he was the Commodore, he made me a little kill when he presented him to me at the annual dinner, and I got home now, a little drop kill.
But you was nearly dead.
It's a pity you let him go, wasn't it?
Well, good job. Yeah, good job I didn't have anything cooking, wasn't it?
Hey, we've been bothered with you ever since.
You talking about Jack. What about Tommy? Used to eat Jack at anchor off and then he stuck ashore up.
Your brother run my boat, Tommy.
Yeah.
Tommy,
What's a good show?
that
he was.
collie dog.
Yeah.
Now, I can remember he used to swim ashore, go up, shop, get cigarettes in a cap, didn't he? And swim out to the boat, and he wouldn't get them wet.
No, we got him wrong.
Pick them up. And what I'm telling you is true. And sometimes he used to send up in them days to his sister Esther and say, write a note, can I have 2 bob or half crowns? Sometimes it came back. But sometimes, wait a minute, sometimes the note used to come back, nobody in. That's true, that. Your brother, isn't it? It's true, though, isn't it?
They've all gone, but
Nobody in, yeah. Good old times, but that is true.
we had lovely times in those days.
Yeah.
We don't know. I mean,
nobody in.
you younger generation now don't know what really living is. You really don't. Because you get it too easy. In our day, we had it hard and we used to enjoy every moment of the day.
The old boys lived here years ago, and every Sunday afternoon in the summer they used to go up over the cliff path for a walk. These 2 old chaps,
I remember, yeah.
smoking and spitting like they used to.
Yeah.
And then out over the common, like down over Theodore's flat, mine was
Yeah.
Theodore's
Theodore,
flat.
and mine,
There was a boy and a girl there, like, lied in the bushes.
Oh, dear.
Lovely sunny afternoon.
And what is it?
And one of these chaps said to him, I don't believe that's my Mary down there, not the big feller. And her was making awful sort of squeaky noise. So one chap says to the other, he said, that's my Mary right now. He said, what the hell's her doing to her? He said, do you think he's doing her any harm? The other feller said, he ain't doing her no harm. Why, bugger, he's doing her the powers of good.
Oh, dear, dear.
He was doing her,
Oh, dear.
Margaret, he was doing her the powers of good.
You've been listening to Fireside Tales, which came this week from the Dolphin Inn at Beer. Have more at the same time next week. The programme is produced in association with the Devon and Exeter Arts Centre.